Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for October 7th. Let's take a look at the U.S. Japanese yen pair. We'll have to switch it real quick over to that. Okay, here we go. We're looking at this pair. This pair closed down today. It did move back back up, moving higher around the 300 level prior to moving back down and closing lower. If you notice, though, we did not make a new high, and we have an inside bar for this previous session. So definitely take a look at that and watch where it goes from here. A lot of times those inside bars, we get breakouts that occur, and I do anticipate breakout to occur at least from this range of this session. But this breakout of Monday's session would be a pretty good jump, so it could happen. Obviously, with this 400 pip day plus range we saw on Monday, it can definitely happen. Now, looking at the range that I am expecting for this next session, I expect it to be as high as 103.58 and as low as 100.73. This pair is moving lower, and the bias is to the downside currently. Taking a look at the Euro USD pair, I'm expecting this pair to move between 137.79 on the high side, on the low side 134.31. As far as support and resistance, look for some resistance to come into this market around 136.75 and some support around 135.00. Now, switching gears, looking at the well, first, real quick before we move on, I had mentioned previously yesterday that if we get a break above this high, that we could see it fill the gap. It did not do that as of yet. It did close higher and pull back against us, but I still anticipate seeing it move through that gap prior to the week's close, and the odds are definitely in our favor for that to occur. This particular pair, I'm expecting the pound US dollar pair, expecting it to move lower, and the bias is to the downside on this particular pair, even though it closed up. I'm expecting it to move between 1.7695 on the high side, on the low side 172.58. Now, look for some resistance to come into this market around 175.50 level, and some support to come in around 173.50. Let's take a look at the US Swiss. This particular pair is moving sideways to some degree. It did barely make a new high over this last session by 1 pip, but closed down. I'm expecting it to move between 1.1525 on the high side. On the low side, I'm expecting it to move between 1.1327. Look for some resistance to come into the market around 1.1400 and some support to come in around 1.1350 on this particular pair. Now, something real quick I wanted to go over with y'all. Switching over to the Euro Japanese yen pair, we have a setup that has occurred. We have an inside bar, and we took a look at the Australian US dollar pair on Monday, or previously, and for this particular setup where we have a strong down day. It can be a strong up day too. It'd just be the opposite what we're looking for. We have a strong down day. Next day it closes up, but if you notice, it went all the way up to this point, up around the 104 area, above the 104 area, and then it came down and closed much lower, around the 137.50 area. So it pulled back a lot prior to the close, even though it closed up. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for a break below this low. Now, this low is at 135.03. So you probably don't want to sell at 102 or 135.02 because you're real close to dropping down. And at these breaks, at these 100 pip breaks, you normally get the market bouncing off of them. So what I would look for is a good break below that at 134, say 97. And look for that number to be hit to go short. Now, once you've gone short, the next level I would look for would be 134.28. If you get a break through that, if it just goes right through that, look for 133.98. And then finally, if it breaks through that, which it can do, we get some pretty large moves, look for 132.97. These are areas of support that, if hit and gone through, it could just move lower. So look for a break over this next session. I realize that it's showing up currently, but look for this to move lower, come down, and when it breaks there, look to go short, and then look for these targets. You have you have 3 targets basically, 1, 2, and 3 to look for. Now, switching gears, we have the Bank of Japan is releasing their monthly report tomorrow at 1 a.m. And the consensus is, or there's really no consensus on this particular report that is for October, but the Euro has their Eurozone GDP for the second quarter being released tomorrow, and that is the consensus is that it will be the same at negative 0.2%. Year to date, they're showing that it's going to hold as well at 1.4%. So definitely check that out. That could move the Euro USD if that comes out way outside, way beyond the bounds of what it is at currently. Well, until tomorrow, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.